Welcome back to qualifying, where we're waiting for the lights to turn green in the pit lane to signify the start of the session here at the Hockenheim Ring for this weekend's German Grand Prix. Drivers tend to complain about tyre wear around this track, and the compounds on offer this weekend aren't likely to put that issue to bed. Is this going to be about who can make the tyres last?
Tyre wear is always something you have to consider to a certain degree. Finding a good car balance that suits the circuit will help prolong the life of the tyre, but it's true that some circuits, such as this one, are more challenging than others. How hard you can push them depends on your strategy and how tight the battle is around you.
Hi guys, Brown here, welcome back to another video of my F1 2019 career mode, episode number 11 for what is the German Grand Prix, and you'll notice straight away we're in qualifying, and I'm going to be editing these videos slightly differently from now on, just so we get into the action quicker. So you can see we just saw the R&D, how many points we have, and that was actually the R&D graph. So you can see top three teams, obviously they've gone into the distance, but hopefully we can catch. We're sort of, the midfield is so tight that if we don't upgrade for a weekend, we're down like mid R&D on the graph. But so everyone is very bunched up as we go into first couple of corners and head down towards the hairpin, and now we head into the final couple of corners into what they say is the stadium section, which is I got nothing against the track. I really like the track, but it's not really a stadium section. Like Mexico has a stadium section, that final sector around here is not a stadium section. But as you can see how worn our engine is. As we're back into the pit lane, you can see we have a very worn gearbox. I'm gonna see, obviously you can see we're down in P19. I'm gonna see if we can, that's close. You're going to see if we can get through and just do this weekend without changing the gearbox. So let's see what we can do on this final flying lap in Q1. But as you can see, I let through, I think it was Raikkonen, and then I just had Gasly behind me, but I'd already put my foot down to start the lap, and he's just going to go and overtake us down the inside whilst I'm trying to do a flying lap. I tried to squeeze him out, try and stay on the racing line, but you can see we've lost all that time. Gasly, and then he backs off here. See how far back he's gone. Maybe that is from where we squeezed him, but we are up a little bit. We've managed to pull it back in the middle sector. Gasly's kind of just chilled on our gearbox for the whole lap. We got a little bit wide there, round the final corner and across the line, but it's not enough. We're only P20. Back to the days at the start of this season of Australia, China, Bahrain. Not good. So you can see that out in Q1, our teammates out, George Russell's out, Ricciardo's out, and Robert Kubica is also out as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the maximum grid penalty we can possibly take on the game. So we're going to have a whole new, if you imagine, like, you can see all the pluses on the screen. Imagine that's a whole new engine column, I think that's what they're called, plus a new gearbox. So the only thing is I can't go back and use that second engine. I have to obviously use the one, so we're gonna have a fresh engine for this race, and then in Hungary I'll switch back to the other engine, the second column. We can order a practice gearbox as well, but let's go to the race.
There's nowhere at all I'd rather be today than here at Hockenheim for the German Grand Prix. We have an incredibly competitive field this year, which means we should be in for a treat. And judging by the sea of people filling the grandstands, there's a fair-sized chunk of Germany that agrees with me. We're racing in the Rhine Valley this weekend at the home of many of the sport's finest competitors. The 2.8-mile Hockenheim Ring requires precision through the technical stadium section and great raw speed down the long, flat-out curve towards the popular overtaking zone of the Turn 6 hairpin. Watch out for a lot of wheel-to-wheel action there today. With the Grand Prix nearly upon us, Anthony Davidson is by my side once again to offer his perspective. Now, I want to ask you about Lando Norris. They're still relatively new to a sport which does have a high learning curve and, of course, little tolerance for mistakes.
And this is something that has ended the career of many a young driver, as that leap up to Formula One proves to be too much. But luckily in this case, I'd say they're doing a good, solid job, and the risk the team took in signing them is definitely starting to pay off.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Sebastian Vettel will start on pole. Fantastic qualifying from the multiple world champion, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Bottas, Verstappen, Lucas Faber and Leclerc. Magnussen, Gasly, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Perez and Nico Hülkenberg, Grosjean, Butler, Kimi Raikkonen and Norris, Stroll, Albon, George Russell and Daniel Ricciardo, Kubica and Brown. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
So as we look at the strategy for the race here today, it's going to be a boring one-stop, unfortunately. From the medium onto the hards, no rain, so I don't think we're going to get the classic like real life. You can see the penalty at the top of the screen there, what we're taking. But let's go to the races. It's lights out and away we go. It's Vettel v Hamilton into turn 1, as we're just going to try and get the best start we can possibly get here, as we go in between the Renault and the Williams, and we've actually got round the outside of our teammate as well, so it didn't take us long to get past Albon, and we're going to go for the lunge down the inside of Lando Norris, and I think it's George Russell as well. Round the outside of them two we go, now down towards the hairpin for the first time in this race. And now can we get past? It's Devon Butler in the Renault. As you can see there, Charles Leclerc coming under pressure, and we're going to go down the inside of Devon Butler as well, and hopefully we're going to pull this one off, and we are just about. So up next is the McLaren of Hülkenberg, and now we're going to go for the lunge down the inside. He squeezed us into the apex, and then here he just pushes us straight off the track. What is he thinking there? What is going through his mind at the time when that happened? Whilst I was recording it, I was going absolutely mental, and you know, if you've watched any of the episodes for this one, if you missed any, go check them out. There'll be a link in the description, but you know I'm not playing Mr. Nice Guy to him. As here we come then, we're going to push him, we're going to squeeze him as much as we possibly can, because he ain't squeezing me like that, completely pushing me off the track. Yeah, you could argue I could have backed out of it, but I'm alongside, and there's no way I'm backing out of that one. So I was always going to push him off the track. Well, it's not push him, but squeeze him. The way I see it, if you race, if you want to race aggressive, I'll race aggressive with you. But as you can see further back, there's Albon getting past Kubica, I think it is. A lap later, this is Lance Stroll going wheel to wheel with the Haas of Romain Grosjean. We're just kind of sitting back here licking our lips, and we took into Grosjean's slipstream, and round the outside we go, and we get past Grosjean. Grosjean made left for dust, in fact. We're going to try and go round the outside of Stroll, but that isn't going to work. Heading down though, through the small kink in just a sec. There we go, through the small kink, and now we're going to try and do the dummy. That didn't work. Stroll saw it coming, covered it off beautifully, I'll give him that. And then next up, we just kind of got to wait now till we head down into the hairpin, like now, as we're on the back of him. We're going to swap him the dummy, go to his outside, and right round the outside now of Lance Stroll, we're going to try to feather the throttle. We don't want too much wheel spin on the exit, and we've got a perfect exit, and we're flying around his outside, and hopefully now we can knuckle down and get our head down and push after those cars in front of us. But Stroll's having none of it. We get on to the next lap, Stroll just flies past us there, and I don't think we're going to be able to re-overtake him here. We're just going to have to sit behind him now through the hairpin and out up towards the stadium section ish, through the small kink. Okay, now we're going to go for the lunge down the inside into that corner. Oh, what a move that was. Dive 1.5, not too bad though, a little bit wide on the exit. Stroll though has just about stayed behind us, as this is the battle. Then we pulled away from Stroll. This is Raikkonen v Magnussen, and this is kind of where the race started to settle for us. As you can see, Raikkonen getting past Magnussen. As we skip on a couple laps, we've caught the back of Raikkonen. Magnussen has, you can see him just off in the distance. But now, can we get past Kimi Raikkonen? He in the actual German Grand Prix had a great race. He was third at one point. As we're going to go down his inside into that first corner. Very daring move. What a move that one is. But we skip on a couple of laps, and here comes Raikkonen down the inside of us to try to do the switchback. But I tapped the back of him. Luckily we had no damage, and I couldn't get the exit on him to have a go into the corner. But I'm not letting that faze me. We're going to go to this inside just like we did on Lance Stroll, and there's contact. Massive amounts of contact. We've nearly lost the back end. In fact, we have lost the back end. We didn't go the full way around. You see, Raikkonen has stayed out, and we're going to head into the pits and try and do the undercut on the Finn. Teammate also in the pits, so hopefully we can get in and out before Albon does, so we don't hold him up. Into the pits we go, onto the hards now, and let's see what we can do. In fact, we do hold Albon up, you can see in the background there, but what was he going to do in this race anyway? As now we come out just behind Grosjean, but hopefully he pits before we catch him. But unfortunately he doesn't, so we have to get past him. We're going to go try round his outside. He squeezed us. Oh, if we could have pulled that off, that would have been a lovely move. But here we come. We're going to go to his inside and fly past him just like we did a couple of laps ago, and Butler is going to follow us through here. We've gone a little bit deep, but Devon Butler has overtaken Grosjean as well, so double whammy for Grosjean in this race. Well, he stays out on those tyres, and we've just got to pull away from Butler, but that's not going to happen as he absolutely torpedoes past us there. And we're going to go for the lunge down the inside. It's Devon Butler. I'm not letting him pass that easy, and he does stay behind us. We get a warning for causing a collision with him, but we skip on a lap, and you can see Raikkonen's come out of the pits in front of us, so the undercut didn't work. Raikkonen extended his stint by a couple of laps, and here we go then. Can we get past him? We're going to go to his outside. I'm liking these moves around the outside at the hairpin. Round the outside we go. We've got the job done, and now hopefully we can pull away and catch Magnussen, because we have a fresh engine. There's some big points to be had here today. I don't think we can get the podium like Kvyat did, but here comes Raikkonen. He's back past us. We're going to go for the lunge down the inside, defend the position, squeeze him out. Stayed ahead, probably a bit too aggressive, as it is Sergio Perez out the race, so you see him just parked up there. Obviously the man we had that massive battle with at Silverstone. But a lap later, again, here comes Kimi Raikkonen. He's on the back of us. He goes to our outside, and the DRS and slipstream is so powerful. You can see it absolutely. He's got past us and gone a country mile, but I'm not letting that phase us. We're going to go for the dive bomb down the inside. Get warning for causing a collision with Raikkonen, but we're alright. A lap later though, again, it's like the walls of brown, just like that Spider-Man scene where he's holding back the train. Just trying to keep him behind, but at this point I pretty much knew it was impossible to catch Magnussen, so I was just trying to get the best position, which obviously was 9th as Raikkonen just forgets that I'm at his inside and just squeezes into the apex. So he got what he deserved when I pushed him off the track. You knew that was coming, come on. You're not squeezing me and getting away with it. As now out of the race is Lando Norris. So he was having quite a good race. He was just behind his teammate. He's gone to our inside now, and we're going to have him on the outside. We're going to get the traction, and we're going to get some excellent traction and pull away now. And now hopefully we can stay ahead. You can see Raikkonen's actually been overtaken by Lance Stroll. As Stroll tries to go to our outside, Lewis Hamilton has won the German Grand Prix. We've squeezed out Stroll, and there goes Butler trying to get past him. Don't know what's happened to Raikkonen here. He just dropped miles back, lost all of his pace. And now through the final couple of corners, round the final corner, we're going to take a P9, and what is going to be a pretty bitter P9, because we definitely could have done a lot better.
That's it for another Grand Prix and a fantastic win for Mercedes. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
I'd say it was down once again to good, consistent driving, nailing the corners, working to the track conditions and perfecting the team's strategies. They got all of these things right today, and the results speak for themselves.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
So Lewis Hamilton has won the German Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel gets P2, Bottas was P3, conceded 2 DNFs, Sergio Perez and Lando Norris. Albon still doing badly. How had he finished P18? I know we had that instant in the pit lane, but come on, he would still have some aggressive driving. But in the championship, it's close. We're level on points with Kevin Magnussen. We're a point behind Nico Hülkenberg. This is getting very interesting now. In the constructors, we're single-handedly still beating Alfa, McLaren and Williams, and we're not that far off a Haas now, just 18 points behind. So if we was to get a second, we'd be level on points.
I'm sure you're pretty happy with that. Another close finish between you and Devon today. Does he keep you motivated? You gained a lot of positions during the race, didn't you? It wasn't the cleanest race today, was it? Great. Well, that's everything.
So Claire asked him some questions I don't really care about. But you can see we don't actually have a rival at the minute. That will change in just a second. Just going to pick that as we're into the paddock. And now we can see the R&D decent amount of points, 2,000 points, so we can definitely do some upgrades going into Hungary and the races after that as well. As we can have a look, these are the driver transcripts. You can pause them, have a little look at them. But here we're going to pick a rival, and going off the championship, I thought maybe go with Butler, obviously get the extra XP, but I'm going to go with Magnussen. We're level on points from in the standings, so it makes sense. We're going to do a engine upgrade. It's actually on the ERS that will come in for Italy. You can see here just debating what to do, and you can see we've actually confirmed it. So that will come in Italy. I thought about maybe doing an upgrade elsewhere, but I thought in the end I'll go with the Aero, and we're going to do a minor upgrade. So that will come in for Hungary, and then the engine one on the ERS will not come in till Italy if everything goes smoothly. But that is it for this episode. If you enjoyed, hit the like button. If you want to see this content, subscribe. But until Hungary, goodbye.